The Minnesota Vikings 2026 schedule has officially been released, and in this video I'm going to be going game by game, telling you which ones I think we will win, which ones we will lose, and why, and I will try my best to be as unbiased as possible. Kicking off the season with a home game against the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers at 3:25. First of all, I think Kyler Murray will win the quarterback job to start the season. Just want to get that clear. The crowd is going to be hot. An amazing way to start the season. A really good rivalry game. I think last season was a bit off partly because of Kevin O'Connell, because he didn't know how to use JJ McCarthy. He didn't know how to use the run game properly. But at the end of the season, he started to fix that. Then we started winning. Now, obviously, JJ McCarthy isn't probably going to be the quarterback, but he figured out the run game, and I think that's going to be a really big thing for us this season. Micah Parsons probably won't be back. I think we start off the season very hot, and we get a win against the Packers, starting the season 1-0. A fairly decent-sized win, 35-18 is the final score prediction I have. Then week 2, we have a game against the Bears in Chicago at noon. These first two games are pretty crucial. Two division games, one of them an away game, meaning we're not going to have to play in the terrible cold weather in Chicago later in the season. This was last time, or one of the... This is how Caleb Williams felt when he was playing the Vikings a year ago, and he's going to be feeling the exact same way again, because I had the Vikings also picking up the win here. I don't think it's going to be a very pretty game. I think it'll be low scoring. 21-16, advancing to 2-0 is my final score prediction. Caleb's going to be running for his life all game, making him lob up a couple meatballs like he does, giving us a couple interceptions, and that'll be one of the deciding factors for the game. Then we have a tough game on the road against the Buccaneers at 3:05. Two hard-fought divisional games to start off the season. Will Bucky Irving be back? I'm not exactly sure. I feel like this has a chance to be a very chaotic game, very like a shootout style. I think it will come down to one score. I feel like we have trouble getting to Baker Mayfield. I'm not exactly sure why. I just have a feeling. Probably getting like 1, maybe 2 sacks, and just not being enough to get us the win. I think the Buccaneers will end up coming out on top for this one, putting the Vikings at 2-1. 24-28 is my final score prediction. A close game, but two emotional games to start the season against two division rivals on the road in the heat. Not going to be easy for sure. But do not fret, because we are going against the tanking Dolphins at US Bank Stadium, 3:05. The Dolphins honestly might not win a single game all season. I feel like this is just going to be an absolute royal cheek clapping. They are going to get demolished, get the Vikings back on track. Kyler Murray scrambles for 200 yards and passes for 400 with 4 touchdowns, just destroying the Dolphins, putting us at 3-1. I predict the final score will be around 41-10. A needed win to get the Vikings back on track going into another tough game. The reason I say tough game is because it seems like for some reason every time we go against the Saints, it's a close game, and I don't know why, even if the Saints suck. In New Orleans at noon, added some O-line help in the offseason, and more importantly, signed running back Travis Etienne, who I actually really like. I think he will definitely be a big problem in this game, but I think with the power of Big Citrus and Caleb Banks, we will get after the quarterback. We will get quite a few sacks and be able to contain Travis Etienne to not a monster game. Outside of Travis Etienne, they basically have nothing on offense, and their defense is absolute dookie. So I think the Vikings get the win pretty easily, 31-17, putting us at 4-1 heading into the bye week. Then we have the Colts against the Vikings in US Bank Stadium at noon. They had a really good start last season and then just they pooped their pants, and their season they completely fell apart. Was Danny Dimes a fluke last season? I think it honestly might have been. They got Sauce Gardner this past season, but I think Justin Jefferson is just straight up better than Sauce Gardner. So I think he will still have a really good game. And even if he doesn't, you're going to have to guard Jordan Addison, who will, if you double team, triple team JJ, Jordan Addison will go off for 300 yards. I think the Vikings end up picking up the win here. A final score prediction 24-17. I don't think it'll be a complete blowout or anything, but definitely a win, putting us at 5-1 coming off the bye. Next, a really tough game on the road against the Lions in Detroit at noon. I think the Lions are still very overrated, but that is not me saying that they are completely terrible. I think Dan Campbell is on the hot seat this season, honestly. I think we'll get after Jared Goff a lot. I think this will be kind of a shootout game, coming down to one score at the end. Basically, like, whoever has the ball last gets the win. I could honestly see this one going either way, but I'm going to predict that the Lions allegedly do come out with the win, 38-31. Vikings still at 5-2, not bad by any means. It's going to be a really tough game either way for both teams. And then coming off of that loss, another really tough game against the Bills. It is at US Bank Stadium though on Monday Night Football. I think it's going to be a very fun game. This is what happened last time we played the Bills. Josh Allen fumbled a quarterback sneak. I think this could be another pretty crazy game, and the Bills adding DJ Moore this offseason in their biggest position of need probably at wide receiver, I think was huge for them. Now, DJ Moore isn't like, the best receiver in the league, but is definitely on the better side of things. Still having James Cook back there at running back, Josh Allen's scrambling ability, I think it will be very tough. A very hard-fought game, but I do think that we will allegedly end up losing 24-27, putting us at 5-3 on a 2-game losing streak, unfortunately. Then we have yet another tough game against the Packers on the road in Green Bay at noon. Weather could be a factor here, but I just don't think the Packers are going to be good at all this season. Micah Parsons might still not be back, but even if he is, he's probably not going to be the same, or at least feel 100%. I feel like Kyler Murray causes major problems for the Packers here with his scrambling ability specifically. Jordan Love will be under duress all game. I feel like this will be a big game for Caleb Banks or Big Citrus. And I predict that the Vikings, after a 2-game losing streak, will come out on top with a fairly easy win, 31-20, putting us at 6-3, getting us back on track. Then we have a game in Mexico against the 49ers, and it is technically an away game, but in reality, it's a neutral site game. On Sunday Night Football, the 49ers did pick up Mike Evans this past offseason, but I think they are kind of falling apart just a little bit. I think this is a game where we get lots of sacks, maybe even a Harrison Smith sack in there if he's still on the team. And then by the end, Brock Purdy will be looking at not so Purdy, because I think the Vikings will end up picking up the win 38-20 in Mexico, putting us at 7-3. I feel like the crowd down in Mexico is going to be quite loud though, because just international crowds in sports in general seem to be amazing. And by amazing, I mean like really loud. In the WWE, in the NFL, everything. In soccer. Then we have the Falcons coming to US Bank Stadium at noon. Mr. Penix, I do not think will do very good in this game. It just doesn't really do it for me. Pause. I think it'll just be all Bijan the whole game, and I think eventually he will get too tired, and we will just eventually be able to stop it, giving the Vikings the win, putting us at 8-3, 20-14. Not a high-scoring game. I think both of those touchdowns will come from Bijan Robinson. It's just going to be him all game. Then we have the Panthers also visiting US Bank Stadium, and we are officially in the home stretch where the 5 of the last 7 games are at home, which is, I think, where we pick up a lot of wins. 325 game. I think this will be a big Justin Jefferson game, maybe 200 plus yards. I mean, the Panthers are just, pretty terrible. I don't think I really have to say much about it. Bryce Young is not very good. I think we pick up a big win here, 35-10, putting us at 9-3. Then on a short week, we visit the Patriots on Thursday Night Football in New England. Now, the Patriots were a Super Bowl team last year. Were they one of the worst Super Bowl teams of all time? Yes. Did they have an easy schedule and get lucky? Yeah. But getting to a Super Bowl, it's not easy, no matter what. No matter what way you shape it or look at it. I do think Drake May will do pretty good. He had a really good season last year. And I just feel like the Vikings seem to drop like one random game every season where they just shoot themselves in the foot over and over. And I think this will unfortunately be that game on a short week. 21-20, putting us at 9-4. Going on to a mini bye week. Then coming back against the Lions on Sunday Night Football in the historic US Bank Stadium. At this point, the Lions are fighting for a playoff spot. The Vikings are battling for the 1 seed. A pretty big game, potentially the winter whiteout game. They're starting to lose guys because they're paying way too much money for everyone. A rowdy crowd, very high scoring game here, I think. A shootout, but I think the Vikings pick up the win on a last second field goal, a Christmas miracle, 41-38, putting us at 10-4. Then we have the Commanders also visiting the Vikings with a time TBD to be determined. I do think this will be a little bit of a tough one through the first 3 quarters for some reason, but then at the end the Vikings pull out. They end up pulling away and picking up the win 28-17, putting us at 11-4. Wanting some more, feeling good. Then we visit the Jets with the terrible MetLife turf at noon. Jets also going to be tanking for the number 1 overall pick. And the Vikings pick up the win here pretty freaking easily. And I think the final score will be 34-16, 12-4, feeling good going into the final game. At this point, I don't think the Vikings will have the 1 seed locked up just yet. So in the final game, we have the Bears, who are already about 5-12 at this point, or 5-11. Going up against the Vikings in US Bank Stadium. They're trying to poo-poo on the Vikings parade, trying to ruin their number 1 seed spot. But nah! The Vikings or the US Bank Stadium crowd will not let that happen, and the Vikings pick up the win. It's an ugly game, but we pick up the win 16-14. Making our final record 13-4, wanting some more, feeling good going into the playoffs as a 1 seed. And then, of course, going on, destroying everybody by 50,000 points, winning the Super Bowl. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your record prediction for the Vikings or your favorite team, whatever you want. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and